In my art journey, the number one thing that I've always struggled with was how to find my own art style. So in this video, I thought I would talk about how I found my style. I will go through the three main steps I went through to find my own art style, and I will answer the question of, is it okay to have more than one art style? Hi, welcome back to my channel. My goal of this channel is to provide you with eye candy worthy art tutorials and demos so you can unlock your creativity and explore new styles in fine art. If you like the sound of that, please consider subscribing. Grab some coffee and tea and let's get into it. My 3 ways that I have found my art style. So I have to say that as a beginning artist, finding my own art style was a huge struggle for me, and I would always question my style, so much so that I would be too embarrassed to even post it online. And at a certain point, I just think that you sort of have to own your style because it is your own unique style, and you cannot always worry about what other people think or try to force your style to what you think people are going to like. So that is just a side tip. By the way, this is my watercolor illustration called Antoinette's Secret. You could see the rest of the collection on my Instagram. Okay, so let's get into the 3 main ways that I found my own style. So step number 1 is to make like a board. A Pinterest board is very handy and I guess the easiest way to do it. And you don't have to make it public. You can even make it private if you don't want the whole world to see that you are trying to find your style. So make some sort of Pinterest board, a mood board, and it's okay to look at other people's work. Search out what inspires you, what artists that you admire. Collect all the artwork that you admire, that you aspire, and it could be from old artists and new artists. You make a collection of that, and then from there something will emerge, a pattern, and you will start to see the things that are popping out. Maybe you're realizing that you like a lot of artists that paint big eyes. Okay, that was true for me. Maybe you're realizing that you like a lot of the more cartoony type artists, or maybe you're realizing that you like the artists that are into more realism. And then you got to break it down a little bit more. Do you like how they draw the nose, the lips? Do you like how they do the neck? Do you like how they do a longer neck, more realistic, shorter neck? How do they do the hair? What kind of mediums do you prefer? Do you prefer artists that are more into watercolor? Artists that are more into oil or acrylic? Maybe you prefer artists that are into digital. So that is basically the first step. And another thing, when you are beginning to learn art, you have to learn from somewhere. You learn from art teachers, usually, and it's very normal to copy your teacher's work. And I find that it's perfectly normal. And from there, by copying the teacher's work, it will help you develop your own style eventually. Only by emulating lines and artwork from your teacher or an online course, it is almost the only way to learn. But eventually you will realize that by doing this, your own style will emerge from that, because in the end, you cannot really ever copy exactly. Everyone's hands are different, everyone's brains are different. Then after that, you kind of have to find your own style, your own voice, and that comes later on. So With copying, I think it's okay when you're first beginning. I think we've all done it, even the greatest artists, because how else are you supposed to learn? You need references, you need some sort of teacher to learn from, and then only from there you could spread your wings and find your own style. Step number 2 that really helped me find my style was understanding what the heck style was. And style, when you break it down, really comes from 2 main things: your personal taste and likes, and then the actual technical side of art. So your style comes from your personal tastes, your surroundings, your personality, what inspires you, what kind of music you like to listen to, what kind of movies are you into. Let's take me for example, because I can only talk for myself. If you look at my work, I love big-eyed girls and pastel colors. I love flowers. I'm very girly. And I think having a small daughter also influences my style, and I think that's why I'm more drawn to cute characters. And I think your mood can influence your style. Sometimes I might feel like pastel colors, and sometimes I might feel more like more moody type, darker colors. So all these things can affect your style. Understanding your art style also comes with experimentation. So I think it's great to experiment in different kind of art mediums, from watercolor, acrylic paint, oil paint, pastels. Maybe you want to try your hand at digital art. Maybe you want to try markers. So all these will help you determine what you like and what you don't like. And this all comes with experimentation. And ultimately, this will help you find your style. Okay, on to step number 3. Practice the fundamentals. Yes, as much as maybe we don't really want to do this, it's hugely important to developing your style. Now, when I say practice the fundamentals, is learning how to shade properly, learning the basic color theories, learning about the human anatomy of the face and the body. All these steps can hugely improve your artwork and help you find your own art style. For example, before I found my own style, I first studied how to draw a realistic eye. And then from that, I felt more confident in drawing a more unrealistic eye, because I knew more or less, where to put the iris, where to put the highlights in the eyes, how to place the eye on the face. So not only did it help me improve my art, it also gave me the confidence to develop my own art style. So just because you are learning the fundamentals of art doesn't mean that you have to stick with that. Once you know a little bit of the fundamentals, you could sort of break the quote-unquote rules and change it up, and that is how you are going to find your style. And then the last thing I want to talk about is it okay to have more than one style? I personally think yes, it is okay to have more than one style, and it's perfectly okay to just have one art style. I'm actually jealous of those people. But for me, I would personally get bored with just sticking to one style. I feel like I have so many ideas, and over time I switch it up. And if you look at my artwork, my style does vary. I like this kind of style, the watercolor, simplified, kind of cartoonish, quirky type characters. with a heart-shaped mouth, for example. But then I also like to go into acrylic paint and paint a more detailed type character. And you know, it really depends on my mood, and I can't just stick to always just one style. But one thing that does remain, almost all my characters have these big innocent eyes, and I guess that has become my style, and people recognize my art for that. So in the end, I think that's what we all strive for, is to have our art be recognizable. And this all takes time, and you know, it is a struggle, but my overall advice is just to keep on practicing, keep on experimenting, and eventually, you know, your style will prevail. And you already have a style. You just got to be more confident with it and own it. My greatest tip of all is to be kind to yourself, give yourself time, and keep on practicing. And if you want to explore more styles in art, click here to watch my acrylic painting of another big-eyed girl. Did you enjoy this video and are new to this channel? Then please consider subscribing by hitting the button on the screen under this video or in the description. Grab another cup of tea or coffee, and I'll see you in the next video.